I would like to show you how I carry my kukri. It's different than the way most Westerners carry a kukri. But a few words explanation may be in order first. I find there's two schools of thought concerning a kukri. One I call the villagers, and the other the Westerners. I don't find one any better than the other, only different. It's sort of like oranges and apples. First, the Westerners' concept. I say Westerners' concept because that's what I see largely in most Nepal forges tend to cater toward the Westerners' idea, which is a carryover from the customs that he had learned in the past. This is a typical kukri as advertised on the internet, designed with the Westerner in mind. It has a scabbard, a frog, a kukri, and two small knives. There are variations on this, but this is the basic concept. A villager would not have this, mainly because they have no need of a frog. A frog is a device that attaches a scabbard or a sheath, depending, to a belt. This is a typical kukri frog. Some have one loop, wider, but all basically the same. And also the fit into the scabbard. Most Westerners find a proper fit or prefer a fit, and this doesn't pertain solely to kukris, but blades in general. They judge a good fit by the fact that you can invert the scabbard and the blade won't fall out. It's held in by friction. And to draw a kukri, the customary method is to grasp it on the upper end toward the frog, toward the mouth, not encompassing the scabbard totally, because particularly on the older kukris, the blades have come through here on the draw. So there's the draw. And the return is the same. I say that because on drawing the kukri, a lower grip doesn't make any difference. That will work fine. But on the return, and it's rare, even rarer than the blade coming through here, the tip doesn't negotiate the bend and tends to come through here. I've seen the results. So there are the two safety factors out of the way, but I'll add one to that. I'll use my other kukri here because it's more exaggerated and you can see it better. It doesn't, I don't believe in that type of fit. I like a one-hand draw, but more on that later. One day, I wasn't paying attention, as I should have, and I don't know whether you can see it or not. The pinky, it was over the blade slot. And at first, didn't pay any attention to it. Blade comes out fine, there's plenty of space. But the trick is, the issue is, as the blade comes out, it gets wider. It wasn't a bad cut, only about like a severe paper cut. not serious, but a warning. Okay, with that out of the way, most Westerners prefer what I call a military carry. That is, to suspend the kukri from the belt. As I said, the villagers don't wear a belt, so they have a different issue. Of course, it's carried sometimes in a pack or on the pack, depending, but for this discussion, we'll talk about military carry. And I will demonstrate shortly the advantages of my system, which I call a modified sash, to the military carry. Already talked about bleed fit. I do not like the theory that the blade is properly fitted when it can be inverted in the scabbard. Sometimes I don't have both hands, and that's more than just a theory. At one point, I've lost the use of one hand or the other, not at the same time, thank goodness. And I've also had the left arm injured. That one involved nerve damage. It was more serious than it took more time to recover. I'm no longer in the military. I live a sedate life, but due to past experience and happenings here in the house, I still prefer a one-hand draw. More recently, for instance, I have one hand full, both hands full. Maybe leaves, sticks, or what have you, that I don't feel like putting down to play pickup again, just to draw a blade. And up until recently, I climbed, and I needed my offhand for that purpose, also occupying it. Nowadays, I prefer to keep both feet on the ground, but nevertheless, there are times that I don't have a spare offhand that I am willing to use, so I order my scabbards and blade and specify a loose fit, one-hand draw. And after receiving, I modify a shimming to get the fit I desire. And you will see the advantage. I've already told you the advantage of a one-hand draw, but you will see another advantage shortly when I put these on. Starting with the military carry. Oh, that reminds me, the studs here. Some, I did not order it this way, it came, but I've seen recently some companies advertising the loops as being detachable. Snap or some type of closure here where you can unsnap the thread through the belt. So that's not necessary to remove the belt, only to loosen it. But in this case, with the studs, it's difficult to get the ends, even though they have which you're not going to be able to see, but the holes have a slit for easier access. But nevertheless, it's difficult to relieve the distal end, loosen the belt, thread it through, but where the real difficulty comes in with the studs, that I have it here, with limited workspace, and I really can't see the back stud. That'd be all about feel, and it's just not worth it to me. I'd rather thread the belt through. And to mount this, first need to find a little storage for this parking space. Well, let's put it here. One more thing. I've seen Westerners sometimes wear the knife on the right side, most on the left. I do occasionally see the right side. Matt Easton, when he was reviewing Windows Mark III, the new issue, Mark III, Kukri, he was wearing it on the right side. Maybe I should say right hand side. To me, that brings up another issue. To draw the blade, I'm pulling behind me. Now this is a short 11-inch blade. I have longer blades, 12, 13-inch and 15-inch kukris. It'll be even more difficult, impossible with some. I don't see a right-hand carry. But that's up to the individual. For this, I need to park it, free both hands in order to unthread the belt, thread this onto the belt, and then again thread the belt, or rethread the belt through the belt loop, pants loops. And all the time fighting the weight of the package. This weighs 760 grams. Okay, I finally got it on. And to draw is a cross draw. And to return with my modified message method. Normally, a Nepalese would have a sash here. Oh, there's something I neglected to mention. The villager carries his kukri by two methods. He has no frog, so he ties a cord around his waist and secures the scabbard to the cord by another cord. The other method, which is much older and is used less now, a sash, and the sash is used to hold the knife. There's a third system, which is rarely used, but I've seen it, and I'll bring it up. It's a shoulder carry, but that's very rare. Okay. There it is. As opposed to this, actually this is slipped forward a little bit. As opposed to this, the longer reach, two hands, with this. And as far as the kukri coming out, I don't intend to stand on my head and invert this thing. But if I did, all I have to do is lock it in. What could be simpler or faster? Or this, a reverse of what I went through to get it there. Okay. Well, that pretty well shows my method. Not saying one is better than the other, what you're accustomed to, I suppose. But I declare, mine's much better, I think. Ciao.